Hi everyone, happy Thursday. I'm just going to share my screen and we can get started with our reading lesson. Okay, so today is the 25th of February 2021. Can't believe it's already the 25th of February. And today our learning objective, or what we're learning, is to read with fluency. And we've talked about fluency before, but we're going to talk about five really important parts of fluency. And parents, if you're around, this is a really good little slide to listen to because it kind of breaks down for us what fluency is. As we get older and we just kind of know how to read, we kind of forget all the steps that we take to learning to read. So this is a really good little bit to pay attention to if you're listening over at the lesson. We measure fluency, or we look at fluency from 5 different parts. So we say the first thing is it accurate? Are we reading the words correctly, or are we making lots of different mistakes? So we want to be reading the words accurately, that they're the correct words that we're trying to read. The next one is rate. So that means I'm not reading too fast and I'm not reading too slow. So I'm not just rushing through it. I know I need to pause and I know I need to take my time, but I'm still not too slow. I can still have a good pace in my reading. Comprehension. So whatever I do read, I understand. So if we can read, I've had some readers in my class who can read beautifully smoothly, but if they're asked questions about the text, they don't really remember what happened in it. So that just shows that we need a bit more practice with answering those questions. And we do so much of it every day with our retrieval questions that we do get a lot of practice. But if we notice that there's still some gaps there, it's really good to be doing extra practice with the reading because that's what's going to help. Expression. So I read with feeling in my voice. And I think that's something we start to develop throughout year one. But certainly as they get a bit older. So it's looking at things like if someone's asking a question, are we having some inflection in the end? Like, where are you going? Are you reading things like, help, with a bit of expression because you know their exclamation. So it's looking at the expression that we use in our voice. And finally, the punctuation. So making sure that when we see a full stop or we see a bit of punctuation, we know that we need to take a pause and take a breath. So those are the 5 big components of fluency. And I think it's really important, not just for our students to know it, but for the adults that work with them to know it as well, because there's lots of different areas that we are trying to improve on with our reading. And it's one of the most important skills that we develop in the early years and in year one, certainly. So now we know what fluency is. Are we reading it correctly? Reading with expression, following the punctuation, not too fast, not too slow, and do we understand? So those are the 5 big bits that we're looking for. So this term, I'm super excited. We're going to have our application lessons, but we're going to have them as Poetry Thursday. So each Thursday this term, and luckily most of this term, you'll be doing back in the classroom with me. Each Thursday, we will practice reading a new poem for our fluency. So we got a little bit of introduction to poetry last term with our writing, but we're going to be doing lots of reading of poems this term as well. There are some activities that accompany the poem that can help us to understand and to practice our different sounds that we're using. Okay, so our first poem is a very simple poem. I think we'll all be able to read it. We'll all be able to sound it out in year one, certainly. And we're going to practice all those skills. So fluency, so expression, stopping where you see a full stop, making sure that we're not stopping to sound out all the words, but we're just reading them smoothly. So we have a poem called The Fat Cat. I had a cat who was so fat, he could not even sit on his mat. He had a hat that did not fit. He put it on and then it split. Okay, so your job is to practice your reading of The Fat Cat. And on Teams, I not only have these slides, but I also have the PDF of the work and this text for today. So you can get that up on your phone, on your TV, on your whatever you use Teams on, and you can get that copy of it to use. So we're going to have some practice reading and performing that poem. And I've got some steps for us for practicing for fluency. So step 1 is trace the words with your finger while the teacher reads the poem. So while I read it out loud to you, can you point to the words as I go? And I'll go back and do it again so you can get a little bit of practice. So the next part is echo reading. So that's where we do my turn and then your turn. So I'll say a part and then you say a part. Then we're going to do partner reading or reading it out loud. Now, you might not have a learning partner at home, but you could read it like we said with our book buddies. You could use a stuffed toy to read to. You could read to an adult in the house. You could even read to me on the screen. You know I love to hear you read. Then we have some independent reading. So can you read it silently? Can you read it in your head maybe? Give that a try. And finally, because it's a poem and poems are meant to be performed, can you perform the poem to someone at home? So lots of active bits of learning today. So I'm going to go back to the poem because the first step you need to do is track the words with your finger. So I'm going to read it one more time and I want you to follow along the screen to track the words with your finger as I read. And then I'm going to have you go and do your bits of practice. So that's going to take you about 10 or 15 minutes. It's not a short bit of time, but I really want you to get that fluency practice. So I'm going to go back. Okay, remember, as I read, I want you to track the words with your finger. You're pointing to them. So right up at the title, The Fat Cat. I had a cat who was so fat. He could not even sit on his mat. He had a hat that did not fit. He put it on and then it split. So now that you've had a go at tracking it, it's your turn to go off and practice and perform that poem. Okay, once you practice and perform the poem, I do have 2 different activities to build on our fluency today, and they're both on Teams for you. So your first challenge is called real or nonsense. So all most of the words in that poem ended with at, with the A and T put together, at. So you're going to read these words that all have the at chunk in them. And then you're going to circle or write a list or color. So if you can print it out, then you can color or circle. If you can't print it out, then you can just make a list on a piece of paper of all the words that are real. So all the words that are real words, not our alien words, not our silly words, but words that have real meanings. So I'm going to leave that to you to read. You can all blend those words. All of you can blend those words. Everyone in year 1 should be able to blend those words. And then the next challenge is called visualize it. And we talked a lot about visualizing the poem when we did Edward Lear poetry. But so your job is to draw a picture of what you see in the poem. So what is happening in the poem? And you're going to draw a picture of that. And your next step can be, I'm going to add a next step to it. So once you've drawn it, your next step, your next challenge up, next step, can you label what is happening in the poem in complete sentences? And I trust that many of us can do that next step. So you've got some quite active learning today. You're going to be doing lots of reading, lots of performing, and then you've got 2 little activities that go along with the poem to help us develop those really good skills, not just our word awareness skills, but also our visualizing skills. And then you can write your captions about the poem. So a little different than what we usually do, but it's good to mix it up. And I can't wait to see what you do. When you're done, you can upload a picture of your work to Teams today. So remember to make that list of the real words, do your picture, visualize it. And if you want to upload a video of you performing the poem, you can also do that on the Teams as well. You can add that to your assignment. So you can upload it on the assignment. And I will see you tomorrow where we do our independent comprehension. So I hope you enjoyed the poem today. I think it'll be lots of fun. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.